Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. So glad you're here. What do we got going on? Well, we're in the month of September. Now, historically, September is a very bad month for the stock market. I do expect a pullback here, but I don't think the run is over. I think they'll push it up higher, but I do expect a pullback here in the month of September. I think we'll pull back. I think the money printer will start going, and I think they'll push it up high. When we print the money, it has to go somewhere. Now, I get a lot of comments on the channel, and I love your comments, right? Even the people that don't like me, even the people that hate me. I mean, a lot of people, they call me a clown. They call me an idiot. They call me the worst thing of all. They call me a boomer. I'm a boomer. You know, maybe it's true. Maybe all three of those are true. I don't know, right? I know there's a lot of internet trolls out there. I know you have to, you got to have a little bit of IQ to grasp some of the concepts I have. But some of the comments lately have been saying that I've been hurting people by telling them not to buy a home. They say I've been on here for years because they know, because these are the people that never miss an episode. These are the people that have been watching me the last 3 or 4 years. These are the people that love to hate me. They don't want to miss out, right? But they say I've been hurting people by telling them not to buy a home. Do you realize if you bought a home in the last 3 years, 81% have buyer remorse. 81%. Yeah, that's fascinating to me, right? But these are the people that go on and they say how I hurt people by telling them it's a bad time to buy. Now they think Dave Ramsey, he's their hero, right? He's their hero. Real estate's going to the moon. You got to get in now. Look, if you go out and buy right now, you're going to have some serious regrets. But a lot of people think that I'm hurting people. I think I'm helping people. Now, if you bought a house just in the last 3 years, right? I mean, in terms of nominal, you'd be about flat to down a little bit in some areas, down 5, 10%, the worst areas, down 15, 20%, right? But flat. I mean, there's no area that's even up more than 5% maybe, but those areas are flat, right? So the thing is, compared to real money, which I talk about, which I scream about, you see, they say I get everything wrong. Everything. Tall Mike gets everything wrong. I've been telling you to buy gold since it was 1,500. I've been telling you to buy silver since it was below $20. Those have doubled. Some, even better. I've been telling you the mining stocks is what I'm in. Just this year, the mining stocks are up 100%, but Tall Mike gets it all wrong. He's got it all backwards. Look, if you had bought a house, 3 years ago, you'd be down 50% in real terms. Now, in nominal terms, yeah, you're flat, right? And in nominal terms, what can they do? They can print money, right? So maybe they print $40 trillion tomorrow. If they print $40 trillion tomorrow, your house might go up. It might double. But in terms of real money, in terms of gold, it would be dropping like a rock. It's been down go back 20 years, down over 80%. Your house has crashed 80% in terms of real money. Now, also, you can look at the stock market, right? Okay, this is fascinating to me. Stock market 25 years ago, it took 40 ounces of gold to equal one of the Dow Jones. 40 ounces of gold to equal one of the Dow Jones. Okay, that's interesting, right? How much does it take today? Less than 13 ounces of gold to equal one of the Dow Jones. So 40 ounces of gold to equal one of the Dow Jones 25 years ago. So how much has the stock market dropped in terms of gold? About 70%. Down about 70%. People don't get this. You see, they have, I don't know if they're just not thinking, because to me, this is pretty obvious, right? I mean, pretty obvious what's going on. Yes, they're going to continue to print money. The money has to go somewhere, so it raises the cost of the stock market, raises the cost of homes, raises the cost of Bitcoin. Now, the Bitcoin people, they really hate me. I really don't understand why. Bitcoin is the thing I trade the most. Bitcoin is the thing, well, I make most of my money probably in the gold miners, but I trade Bitcoin, right? Because it moves a lot, right? You can go from like 70,000, 120,000 down to 50,000, up to 90,000. It can jump around. It's going to jump around, right? I actually believe we'll probably see 150 on. Now, I do expect a little pullback here in September down to about 100 before you get the big print. The big money's going to be printed, right? They're going to print it. They're going to print. It has to go somewhere. Where's it going? The stock market, right? It's going to probably get another push higher. Bitcoin probably going to get a push up to that 150 number. Now, Bitcoin is fascinating to me. I mean, Bitcoin, it's kind of like a cult, right? It's like they found this thing called Bitcoin. They just worship it. There's like 100,000 different coins out there that do pretty much the same thing, but they worship the Bitcoin. It's like their God. It's like a cult. I mean, why not just pick NVIDIA and worship NVIDIA? I mean, that could be a cult, right? But no, the Bitcoin people, they're passionate, right? They're passionate. They were so happy when El Salvador announced they were going to adopt Bitcoin. Well, what did El Salvador just do? They sold off some Bitcoin and bought $50 million worth of gold. Tether, right? Tether is what you trade into the Bitcoin with, right? Well, they sold 9,000 Bitcoin, over $1 billion worth, right? And what they buy? They bought gold, $1.6 billion worth of gold. Sold off $1 billion in Bitcoin and bought gold, $1.6 billion. What are the central banks doing? Do you know any central bank that bought Bitcoin? If you do, leave a comment. I haven't heard of any yet. You know what they buy? They buy gold, right? And right now, for the first time in as long as I've been alive, they own more gold than bonds. They don't own any Bitcoin. Do they own silver? Yes, some central banks have started to buy silver. Russia's central bank buys silver. The Saudi central banks buy silver. China, they buy silver. Why? Because silver's money. They see what's coming. I know I come on here and I preach this stuff to you, and I yell and scream and wave my arms, and I get all excited about it because it is fascinating to me. People think I talk negative stuff, right? Yeah, Mike, he's gloom and doom. I'm just telling you what's happening. If you can't open your eyes and see it, you can be a troll. You can call me a boomer, call me an idiot, call me a clown. And they call me far worse things than that. I just delete those comments. People don't need to read that stuff. But if they're polite, I accept a different opinion. My opinion is not always right. A lot of things I get wrong, right? But the one thing I get right is that they're going to print money and it's going to make gold go up. You see, gold is pegged to debt now. Used to be the dollar was pegged to gold. Right now, gold is pegged to debt. Now, you can watch this go up, right? You can watch it in the price of gold, but you can just go to the usdebtclock.org, usdebtclock.org. A month ago, it was like at 37 trillion. Now it's 37.5 trillion. We're going to be at 38 trillion in another month. Can you believe we're going up $1 trillion every 2 months? You multiply that out, we're going to raise $6 trillion this year onto the debt. What is the Donald thinking? He got rid of Elon, right? Because Elon wanted to chop the spending. No, the Donald's an overachiever. He's going to spend. He loves gold. And the more he spends, the more gold goes up. But you can go to that US debt clock and you can watch it rolling over. Now, take my word. Here's where you sell the gold. If that US debt clock ever goes in reverse, if it ever starts to go down, you sell every ounce you have and you have my blessing. Take the profits as soon as that debt clock goes down. But gold is pegged to debt, right? Gold is going to go up with debt every trillion. It's going to keep going up higher and higher. I mean, it's going up, $50 a day now. Every day's Christmas if you have some gold, if you have some silver. It is fascinating right now. We live in some very fascinating times. Now here you can go to the debt clock. Debt clock has so much information. It talks about how we're over 100 trillion in debt, not this 37 trillion that everybody talks about. We're well over 100 trillion, but it's fascinating because they go back to when the Federal Reserve started, right? And the ratio of the dollar to silver, the dollar to silver, when the Fed started, 1913, right? The ratio between the dollar and silver was 2.7. $2.70 for silver, right? To the $1, right? Okay, that was the ratio. Ratio 2.7. What's the ratio today? 1,220. That's where silver should be priced at, about $1,220. And I think they're just doing it to the M2 money supply, which is like around 22 trillion. But silver, if it were priced like it was when the Federal Reserve started, now take my word, the Federal Reserve has stolen your money, stolen all our money, stolen my money, stolen your money. Started 1913. Okay, 1913. What was the ounce of gold? The ratio from the dollar to gold back then was $26.55. You can go to the U.S. debt clock and look this up. Okay, the ratio, if you use the M2 now, I guess it's about $10,000. That's where gold should be priced at. Now, I think gold's going much, much higher than 10,000. We're at 3,600. And I tell people it's cheap. They say, but Mike, gold, we can't buy gold. It's a record high. We can buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up here, right? And Bitcoin's at that $100,000 level. We can buy that because that makes sense to us. It's digital gold, right? But we can't buy the real stuff. Real stuff's cheap, $3,600, right? But you got all these things going on with Tether buying gold, El Salvador buying gold. You got the central banks buying gold. I mean, you had this one guy, this billionaire, we talked about this, where this billionaire whale, right? Bought $1 billion worth of the GLD. Where'd he get the money? Sold $2 billion in Bitcoin, put $1 billion into gold. A lot of people getting out of the Bitcoin. You can see that, El Salvador. You can see Tether, right? And people hate when I say this. I love Bitcoin. I'm going to trade it tomorrow. I'm going to trade it today. I traded it yesterday. I love it, right? It moves a lot, right? We love that. We want that volatility. As a trader, it's the best gambling vehicle we got. I don't want to take it away. Now, if you're really a trader, you want to get that Ethereum stuff, because that Ethereum stuff is going to take off. It's going to pass Bitcoin, right? I mean, people are going to be real upset with this, but look at Ethereum. Ethereum's going, Bitcoin kind of just plugging along. But we got the Bitcoin president. We got the Bitcoin ETS. We've been pumping it, but we can't make it go up. It's sad, right? But don't worry. I think we'll get to 150 before we get below 50. Below 50. I know it's sad, right? Look at Michael Saylor's company strategy, right? Watch it come down. I mean, it's just dropping now. It's below the 200-day. Michael Saylor, he's got some accounting issues. You got to be careful with that guy. He's a flim-flam man. I don't know. A lot of people worship him. He's the Bitcoin prophet. I'm going to get so much hate on this one, but you got to be careful here. Look at Bitcoin down compared to gold. You go back 40 years ago, right? Bitcoin has dropped about 20%. 20% down compared to gold. Stock market, you go back 25 years ago, down 70%. Houses, you go back 20 years ago, down 80%. Just go back 3 years ago, down 50%. Gold, all the purchasing power funnels into gold. Gold is just getting started. Everything's going to funnel into gold when it breaks, when the banking system goes down, when the financial system goes down. All the purchasing power goes into gold, goes into silver, right? Silver is a derivative of gold kind. Yeah, I'm diversified. I have both gold and silver. And of course, the mining stocks, I'm in those, loving those all the way up 100% in 1 year. I mean, we get a little giddy, and I don't want to brag, but it's exciting, right? It's an exciting time. But anyways, you want to get some of the real stuff because it's all going to funnel into there. And you're going to see a lot of broken hearts in the stock market, a lot of broken hearts if you're gambling, if you have rental properties in the real estate market. This is all going to come tumbling down. And your heart is going to be shattered if you're in any crypto it's just not real, right? Everything funnels into gold. And people are starting to realize that. They see it's like a downward pyramid. Everything, gold is down here, right? It's the rock that everything's based upon. It's God's money. Now, of course, man thinks they invented a better money, Bitcoin, right? They're a fool if they believe that. This is God's money. Everything's going to funnel down into that. And everything is a derivative off of God's money, right? Everything's a derivative. The fiat currency is a derivative. The stock market's a derivative. Real estate's a derivative. Everything is a derivative off of God's money, which is gold and silver. Anyways, this is just my take. I know I have upset so many people in this, but you gotta get some real money. It's cheap at $3,600. Cheap at $40 for silver, maybe 41. I don't know the exact number, but you gotta get some. I'm telling you, it's cheap. You do you, I'll do me. Look at, I love Bitcoin. I love Ethereum. Ethereum made me a lot of money this year too. Not as much as the miners. The miners have topped everything. They've topped my 40% gain in gold. They've topped my 40% gain in silver because they're up 100% in 1 year, and the year's not over yet. I mean, they're still going higher. There's still room to run. This is just my take. Give me all that hate. Give me all that hate. Give me some love, though, too. Why not? Punch the subscribe button. Give me the thumbs up. Get out there, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk again real soon. Bye-bye now.